at Sharp Cheddar Green Bay.
What?
With football and beer.
The Lambs on the hill.
Cheers, boys.
Fuck the Bears.
Crack your beers.
Oh my God.
So stay sharp.
Go Pack, go.
All right, Cheesehead Nation. We are back on a Victory Tuesday.
Woo.
Great night last night. We got to watch the Bears still suck, get their asses kicked by the Rams. That game wasn't even close.
No.
But yeah, we had a lot to talk about today. Big game on Sunday. You know, a lot to unpack from throughout the league. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Sharp Cheddar GB and on YouTube at Sharp Cheddar Green Bay.
Hit the IG. We actually had some content coming to you from the bar.
Yeah, it was a great
traction.
Great day at the bar.
We took a couple post-game pictures too. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a great one. One of them was tagged in Texas, and I got one of my family members like, "Oh, you at a bar in Texas? What are you doing?" I'm like, no, it was definitely not. But all right, all of us are here together today. You know, it feels like we aren't able to do that often anymore, but you know, it's a good one. We're back. All right, boys, crack them.
I have to actually use a bottle opener. I'm using I need to go get me some Miller, but I'm drinking a nice.
Yeah, what are you using that bottle opener on, Joe?
Flying Dog Blood Orange. It's pretty tasty. It's kind of in the season too, you know.
Yeah, it's Maryland beer. It's local. Going with my usual Natty Bow here. Working through a case that I've had in my garage for a while.
Spotted Cow, thanks to Hank. I still got a ton left in there. Thank you.
Does your koozie just say your name?
Yeah, I got a little Spotted Cow as well.
Nice.
All right. Well, we got a lot to unpack from this big win down in Texas this past weekend. So let's do a recap of this game. Joe, you were once again the pride of Hamilton's Bar and Grill. The bar.
Wow, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. But yeah, I mean, I tagged that Instagram as Texas because the Packers are 7-0 in that state, going all the way back to the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl win. So just continuing to dominate in state. We could use some of that dominance in a few other states like California, but yeah, overall great game. I loved it.
That was a fun one. Devontae went off. What was that? The second most receiving yards a Packers player has had. Like
it was a career stat for him.
Shit.
196 yards.
Yeah, 13 catches, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns like that. He went off.
I think.
I mean, the connection that he and Aaron have is something else. Like it kind of reminds me of Aaron and Jordy, except Devontae is just a better athlete than Jordy was. So combining that type of QB receiver connection with the just skills of Devontae is something to behold.
Yeah, and whoever has him for fantasy has Aaron Rodgers and Devontae on the same team. That must be hot, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think someone called double points. I don't know.
Devontae put up a 40 burger.
Double points.
He managed to lose somehow. But no, I mean, yeah, I wanted to talk about Devontae. I mean, I think he continues to set a new standard in Green Bay when healthy. He also had all 7 of our third downs, guys, which is insane. And obviously Rodgers' go-to guy. I thought it was amazing that 196 yards kind of came out of nowhere. He didn't have a huge open 60-yard pass. He just makes those extra 9 yards kind of down the sideline look so easy these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know last week we talked a lot about how absolutely horrendous the Texans' run defense is, but I mean their pass defense was kind of right in the middle of the pack, and they still had no answer for Devontae. It didn't matter what he did, their secondary could not stop him.
But I mean, let's talk about some new guys. We got Jace in there for his first regular season TD. Malik Taylor got his first regular season TD. Love to see the boys.
Paul Martin got some snaps finally at linebacker. That was cool to see.
I want to talk about the linebackers for a second, because that was really stood out to me throughout that entire game. Like I don't remember the last time that we had any sort of depth at the middle linebacker position. And, Kamal Martin got in there. He had 6 tackles and a tackle for loss. Chris Barnes had 4 tackles, a tackle for loss. And even Ty Summers, who I'll admit, I have not been that high on Ty Summers, but all 3 of those guys were flying all over the field. They were making plays. They were making tackles. Like, I mean, we can say everything you want about,
Preston had a good game
over the past couple of years. Like, he gets a ton of volume, but he wasn't an impact player. Like, he just was kind of in mop-up duty for the rest of the defense. I was really impressed with our middle linebackers.
Omar, can you pull up the stats on Jair? Because the guy is playing out of his fucking mind, dude. All pro. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. When he covered Ridley, 0 catches. When he covered Will Fuller this past week, 0 catches. I mean, he's killing it. And it's one of those things that doesn't really show up on the stat sheet because he's not getting interceptions or making tackles or breakups because the QBs just know not to throw in his direction.
Yeah.
Which is...
He's not even getting targets.
Right. It's way more impressive.
Will Fuller got a touchdown in garbage time, but Jair wasn't in coverage on that play.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we were chatting big last week on the episode that the offense looked shaky against the Bucs, but this was really the defense's chance to come back and show what they're all about. I thought they played really well. Like the first 3 drives, nothing. I think we got to the quarterback a lot more times. The turnovers weren't quite there until the end, but they sealed the deal there at the end with a guy coming off the practice squad. So that was good to see the defense come back against fairly explosive offense in the Texans, I thought.
And I'm kind of surprised by that because the Texans offense, like, they had a lot of weapons, a shit ton more weapons than we do. Like, they're horrible at running the ball, and we were able to hold them under their already pathetic 85 yards a game, which was, I was a little worried going into the game that, this was going to be the Texans get right game in their run offense. And we held them to 79 yards. So that our defense stepped up in a big way.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good segue into the second quarter here, which is let's ask, does this actually mean that our offense is back on track, or did we just beat a really bad team?
I think we'll still destroy the Vikings, and we'll talk about that. But I don't think the last true test will kind of be the 49ers. I think physically we need a physical matchup to show how we can actually do. J.J. Watt was our only good player, and I think he kind of around halftime just kind of realized the position he was in. Like, this Packers team is way better than our team. I think we're more talented, I think, than the Texans and Vikings combined, frankly. So I think next week on Thursday we'll see.
No, I agree. I think, I was trying to amp up this game as being much bigger than I thought it was. I think it's just huge to correct after the loss. We still don't have a losing streak. And we play a divisional rival that you need to win. They're looking bad, but I thought that was critically important. I think 2 things. One, getting back to the offense, Rodgers obviously back to his normal MVP performance. And you had a bunch of these fans being like, oh, what are we going to do without Aaron Jones? David Bakhtiari's out. And clearly they're not paying attention to Jamal Williams. And hey, the O-line showed up again. Obviously we want Bakhtiari back as soon as possible. And then on the other side of the ball on the defense, I don't think they're not a set line right now. And they played good. They played, questionable at times. You see these new guys coming up. It's clearly not, it's a work in progress still. Right. And we'll see where it goes, but I think that's promising to see these performances continue with Kevin King being out, Darnell Savage being out, a whole bunch of other guys banged up here and there on different.
Kirksey still too,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and obviously you can't put too much stock into it because it was beating a bad team. However, we did what a good team should do against a bad team. I mean, our offense, it's reassuring to see them back on track, but they scored more than the Chiefs did against this defense, than the Ravens did, than the Steelers did. And those are probably the three best teams in the AFC right now. So I think that being able to put up those kinds of numbers in comparison to what other teams are doing just goes to show that we are at the top of the league and we deserve to be at the top of the league.
Hank Analytics right there. There you go.
Hank Analytics. Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I disagree a little bit here. So I agree that we did what we should have done. We looked solid against that team. I'm not so sure the Texans are quite as bad as their record is saying. I mean, I think that we touched on this last week, that they kind of went through murderer's row to start off.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
And they,
including us, obviously, too.
I mean, Deshaun Watson is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. They've got a lot of weapons on offense. But in terms of our so with that being said, I'm impressed with what our defense did. I'm not so sure I'm that impressed with what our offense did to their defense, though. I mean, we knew that we were going to be able to run the ball. Aaron Jones was out. We still, we were able to get after it. They were terrified of even, Jamal Williams coming out. So then that set up the passing game. I don't know. I would like to see what we're able to do against a better defense.
Yeah, but I think also going off of that, it's huge that we were able to do that with Jamal. Not only for this season, giving us that depth. God forbid something happens, or if we decide to make trades, which we'll touch on later, but showing that we have multiple guys who can hurt you, I think is huge.
Not to mention David Bakhtiari is out, Alan Lazard is still recovering from his core muscle surgery, whoever, whatever else.
But we had Aquarius and Dexter Williams. We had the big two,
Yeah, speaking of our depth at running back, real quick before we get into halftime, can we talk about how A.J. Dillon may not be a good draft pick?
It's not a fair. I hate evaluating guys this early in their. I mean, he's a rookie and he's a third string behind two starters in the NFL. Like, I think it's okay to give him some time to learn from them, to build on everything. I think it's way too early to judge.
He had a handful of carries, and he slipped one time. But
it was after he missed a block on a pass block. That's when he sat out for the rest of the game. He missed a blatant block, and Rodgers, I think, got sacked. And I think that was the last time we saw him.
And we were the Texans were legitimately the worst run defense in the league. I mean, they were offering up 165 yards a game, and Jamal Williams went out and was a stud. A.J. Dillon got 12 yards.
I mean, I think we still need to wait and see, and hopefully we don't need to see him a ton this season. That's the whole point. But he's not also the kind of back like Jones and Williams is that can break a pitch right or out of the backfield catch a 30-yard pass. He's the guy that's going to run it right up the gut. And yeah, hopefully you're averaging 4.5 yards a carry, but sometimes those plays are just designed to go for 3 yards and you're going to shove it up their line. He's not.
And again, I think it's just too early to judge. We probably would have said the same thing about Rashawn Gary last year at this time, and now he's having a huge impact for our defense. So I think that judging a draft pick based on their rookie year is a little presumptuous.
Can I mention one thing before we go into half with you guys?
Sure, Joe.
You guys talking about how shitty their defense is, but don't you want J.J. Watt?
100%.
No. Do you see him? I mean, he's a good old Wisconsin boy from Pewaukee. Go Badgers. But do you see his press conference? They're like, "What do you think about Rodgers' play?" And he's like, "Yep, he threw the ball today." And he's like, "What about the wide receivers?" They caught the ball pretty good today too. Hey, yeah, man.
All right,
get him out of there.
Well, I'm going to bring up.
Let's save that for
some of these draft discussions again in a little bit here, but I think The buzzer sounded. We're going into halftime. Let's get these shots ready.
We need to get a little buzzer.
It's not pulling a mat.
Don't pull a mat and have to work late. Yeah, I'm with you.
Staying with the little Bartons today, boys. Peach schnapps bottle is still only about half. Here.
Matt's Barton's bottle.
Yeah.
My Grand Marnier again. Got a ways to go on this, so this is probably gonna be my staple for a while.
What do you have, Hank? What is it?
It's an infused bourbon that I infuse at home.
Oh, just gonna throw that out there without explaining yourself?
Yeah.
What are you, a man of many talents and interests?
What the fuck is this?
Hey, little shout out here to Christina, Omar's wife. And so the adventure begins 2019 using the little shot glass here. Cheers.
Since the wedding, Omar hasn't actually beat Christina in DraftKings, so remember that.
It's true. Cheers.
New adventure.
Cheers.
Awesome Bears.
Go Pack Go.
All right, we got to do our shout outs. As always, I'm going to start with Diageo. We once again took a lot of shots of Rumplemans at the bar.
Yep.
It was great. Yep.
And I started my day with some Baileys too, one of their other products.
Oh, yeah, so did I. Started with some Baileys and coffee.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll do Johnsonville next, guys. Everyone knows they're the only best brat in the tailgate game. I've been missing them though. We've had 1 o'clock games. We got to get to the bar before it opens at 11. So that leaves us no grilling time. I just need some of that tubed meat before my Packer game day. So, I've been missing them. Love them. Johnsonville brats, the best. The official, unofficial sponsor of Sharp Cheddar Green Bay. I also continued on that. This is kind of random, but like maybe shout out like Red Bull if you guys want to send Sharp Cheddar Green Bay some energy shots or some energy drinks. Red Bull. We had some RBVs on Sunday. Getting the chance.
Well, RBVs do become a staple with some of our members here.
Yeah. So don't forget about the RBVs.
Hank?
Red Bull.
I'll go with Miller Champagne of Beers. Perfect way to celebrate Packers W.
And I'll go Hamilton's Bar and Grill.
We're gonna end the day.
Hamilton's Bar and Grill, where we always go to watch the games. Steve, hopefully you're watching this time. We can catch you on the YouTube as a subscriber, and we can link up that way. I don't know how we keep missing you, but appreciate you guys being open, putting up with us, having the doggy pads, not having the doggy pads, and just kind of hanging out with us. Jose, Mike, Co, appreciate you.
Yeah, wait. So are we officially done with the puppy pads on the table?
100%.
Okay.
I don't know why you guys wanted them there last week when we lost and we got smoked with them on. No shot.
No, I agree. We don't need them. Wait, can we share a little tidbit from the bar? So I need to get the lady's name because she's awesome. She's been there, maybe on and off the last like 2 years, probably, maybe even 3. She was sitting right behind us, and it was this 2-minute warning to the halftime, which is our raffle time for a shot, usually a fireball or something. And it's like Noel from Lambeau on the Hill gets up there and says, "Who needs a shot?" And obviously you have to get up and be, I need it, want it, gotta have it. And the lady behind me is like, "This guy, like, you do not need it, sir." Freaking wins it. She gets the winning ticket and has to rip the shot, and she just crushes it like a champ. That was super funny.
It was Jameson.
It was J-Mo.
An easy shot to crush either.
But she was awesome about it. It was really funny. We when she sat down next to us before the game started, we were like, "Hey, you ready to go?" She's like, "Yeah, I even brought my rain jacket this time for the splash zone." So
Oh.
Nice. Love it. All right, we got a lightning round question before we get into the third quarter here. So what do we think is going to be the biggest upset of this coming week, Hank? Not last week, this coming week. So we're going to do some projections here. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, I was looking at it. I don't know. It's tough. I guess if you consider an upset, I'll go the Las Vegas Raiders against the Browns. I think the Raiders are actually a good football team. They had a bad loss last week because of the O-line that we mentioned. They're the loss. They beat the Chiefs. I think the Browns are kind of a team that just beats up on bad teams. This is the week that they kind of get caught. So, Raiders.
All right.
You think Raiders over Browns? That's not really an upset. Again, I mean, they got their asses handed.
Did you hear how I started? Did you hear how that started, or you just chose to listen to the end? Or
got my own team.
It's based on the spreads. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to throw a Hail Mary here, and I think it's going to be the Giants over Tampa Bay.
Love it.
Tampa Bay's 10.5-point favorites. That's a lot of ground to cover. You know, I don't necessarily think that the Giants are going to win the game, but I think that they're going to keep it a little bit closer than 10.5 points. I agree.
So is the question cover the spread or upset? Now you're changing it again. What's going on,
upset.
bud?
I mean, if I were to bet the Giants in that game, I would still get an upset, wouldn't I? I think that I agree with you that I think that their win over Las Vegas last week was bullshit. So, you know, I'm gonna go with the Giants.
All right. I'm going little Fitz magic. The Dolphins over the Rams. The Dolphins are on a 2-game win streak, beating the Niners.
Yeah, but Hank, Fitz isn't even playing.
Yeah, they're on a bye. Who is coming?
Yeah,
in.
but his spirit lives on.
All right.
I think the Rams have been playing some close games. The Dolphins, with the exception of their Bears beat down, but they're going to be coming high and mighty off a short week, and I think the Dolphins are going to sneak one by them, put up some big points on the Rams.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking pundit here. This is silly. And again, we're not talking Packers, so this is dumb. But like, and I don't know, this isn't even an upset, but I'm going to say, and I don't even want to say this, but Lions are going to beat the Colts. I think.
You just want me to lose Vegas money, Joe, don't you? You just want me to fucking lose it.
The Lions are going to.
We need the Lions to have under 7 wins. What are you doing?
They're better than people are saying they are, and the Colts aren't as good as.
Colts are going to fucking smack them. No.
Anywho's.
By the way, before we get into the third quarter, I just want to let everybody know that our buddy Joe bit the bullet and booked the flight to come to Vegas with us for the Super Bowl. So you're going to get the entire Sharp Cheddar crew in Las Vegas. And it's going to be
get some live.
We'll definitely have some crazy content coming to you.
I can't believe how you fuckers pressure me into that. God damn.
What happens in Vegas will be live on our Instagram.
Stay tuned for that.
All right, everybody, let's crack these beers. We're getting into the third quarter.
I still got a half a beer right here, man. Jesus.
Drink faster.
I'm drinking out of a bottle.
So am I.
Same.
Done.
Jesus. 7%.
Yeah, Joe.
Man, this is gonna be
is this
Halloween
our Vikings hate quarter?
What was that?
Is our Vikings hate quarter or what?
Well, yeah, that's going to be this quarter right now, where we're going to discuss the game coming up this Sunday.
Cool.
So, Joe, let's start with you.
Um,
What are you expecting this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what are they? 1-5. They're just bottom of the NFC North. They're trash. We crushed them week 1 in Minneapolis. But I mean, I think LaFleur has approaches on a week-to-week basis very well, and saying, it's 1 week at a time. They can still put up points. They still have a lot of weapons, and I don't care. It was who we thought was going to be our number 1 rival in the division going into the season, and can't let them come back into that. So it's at home. It's our round 2 versus them. Take care of business. I don't know a lot about who to watch and matchups and stuff like that. It's only Tuesday night of the week. They're coming off a bye, so we don't really know what's going on. They should be healthy, but I mean, take care of business,
I mean, I think we do know, so I'm confused by that statement, but I still don't understand how Dalvin Cook is considered the number 3 fantasy running back going into the week. And every time we've matched up for the Vikings, I feel for the past 1.5 to 2 years, it's been you should load up on Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. For literally since Matt LaFleur's been there, this will be his 4th matchup, and we've shut him down. We've shut that offense down really for the past 3 games that we've played the Vikings. So regardless of the pieces that they've lost, most of them have been defensively. Their offense outside of Diggs, which they replaced with Jefferson, hasn't really changed, and we've shut them down. So I'm expecting a good game because we always play the Vikings. We always play them well. We played them well since LaFleur has come. It's definitely his positive attribute.
Yeah, my favorite stat of the year is because obviously everyone was saying that Kirk Cousins has dethroned Aaron Rodgers for the king of the NFC North. Just the touchdown to interception ratio. Aaron, as we know, is 17 touchdowns and 2 picks, which is amazing. Up against Kirk Cousins in 6 games, he has 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in 6 games. So I think that, I mean, they're going to probably be stupid and try to throw at Jair because Kirk won't study the tape well enough. Jair is going to get a pick this week, and then they're going to try and avoid him. But the rest of our D is going to lock him down. I think our D line is always good at stepping up in the NFC North games. Hopefully, they can translate that into some of the bigger conference and playoff games. But I think that they're gonna just eat Kirk Cousins for lunch.
I hope Aaron Jones plays because the last time he got shit talked when they said, Aaron, what was it, like you can't see in the lights? Like you
That was
bitched.
last
Oh yeah,
year.
like
I know that was last
the
year, but
lights are
I
too
can't
bright
imagine
for
he
you.
forgot about that. Like what player forgets about that?
That's why he wore the sunglasses during the first game on the sidelines.
Oh, so
Pretty sure that was Everson Griffin who said that too. And where's that guy now?
Detroit, yeah.
Yeah, just got traded from the Dallas Cowboys' garbage ass to Detroit. Yeah, I really don't understand what Minnesota is anymore. I mean, they traded away or they let Daniil or Griffin walk.
Minnesota Vikings.
And now, they replaced him with Yannick Ngakoue, who they have already traded away. Clearly that didn't work out for him. Daniil Hunter was supposed to be the best pass rusher in the division. He's done for the year. That they're just a shit show. They're allowing the 5th most yards per game in the league. Like that vaunted defense that everybody's always saying, it's a Mike Zimmer defense. They're amazing. Whatever. 5th most yards per game in the league.
What's the number?
I could bring that up for you. Give me one second here.
Pull up that stat, Omar. I mean, I don't.
I'll find it, but let me finish my rant here. So Kirk Cousins leads the league in interceptions, and I just don't understand what's going on here. Is Dalvin Cook gonna play?
Get him.
Should coming off the bye.
Yeah, I don't know.
I shouldn't amp you up there, Omar. Keep you going.
What's up?
Nothing. I mean, yeah, I don't want to overlook the Vikings in terms of them being a divisional must win. But they seem to just be like a dumpster fire. They're trying to get rid of players that they just signed. Like they don't seem to have any will or energy to win. So like I said, just take care of business. And again, I don't want to look over them, but like I'm really excited about the Niners game on Thursday right after them. Like I'm much more excited about that.
But what quarterback would say, if I keep throwing picks like this, take me out? Like the quarterbacks supposed to have the most confidence on the team. It should be like, I'm going to watch the tape. I'm not going to throw picks. I'm going to learn from this. Instead, it's if I keep throwing picks, take me out. Like, could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers said that? Can you, in what world would Aaron Rodgers ever say anything near that? Like, this is your $30 million Kirk Cousins dipshit. Like, wow.
It's the same guy.
By the way, the Vikings are allowing 414 yards a game.
Can someone please stat check Omar's stats? But Matt, this is the same guy who said he'd rather play without any fans. He thought that would be fun and exciting. Because he's a fucking loser.
Rough to be a Vikings fan and root for that guy, huh?
Dude, Jesus.
However, all right, so we've touched on one of these topics a little bit here. Like, this is still 3rd quarter, by the way. Not moving on yet. But, Devontae crushed it last week. A few guys got some plays here and there. Jace got, his first touchdown of the regular season. Lee Taylor got some stuff. Can we admit, though, that the 2018 draft class for Brian Gutekunst is terrible?
Who's
Jamon Moore, between Jamon Moore, Equinemius St. Brown, and MVS, those guys cannot do shit.
Well, we fucking know that Aquarius can't do fucking shit. God damn it, guy's never gonna catch football in the rest of his career.
Listen, I'll stick up for Q outside of Hank because I know he was ready. He's like a virgin that hasn't popped his cherry yet. And once he does, he's going to fucking move, baby. Give him one ball, and that'll be it. Just let him pop it.
He's wearing the green and gold. I wish him all the best. But, like, fuck, man, I was sitting in Arizona in, like, May being like, this guy's going to come out on his, like, his next year and make that leap. Like, fuck, man. Jesus.
Dude, he would have had he not gotten injured. Give him some time to come back from the injury. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be a stud.
We can at least agree on MVS and Juwan Moore at least for now. Then yeah, MVS he's pretty bad. Juwan Moore got cut. Like that was
just so. MVS is just so inconsistent. Like I want him to be good, but he can run with the best of them. He can get wide open, and then he'll drop a wide open pass, and it's like,
I don't get that.
What are you doing? Or like 2 weeks ago, he had the deep bomb, and he would have had to maybe dive or like speed up for it and fall down for it.
Yeah.
But like Lazard would have done it in a heartbeat, and
and Lazard's not anywhere near as fast.
He let
as
it go
MVS.
over his head.
I mean, I think MVS is clearly the best player in that trio, and he's played well. But like you said, the inconsistency is concerning. Does he have another year to eke that out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I want to see some of the other guys, maybe get Malik Taylor involved a little bit more this week. Like I just don't want to see Aaron Rodgers toss it Aquarius's way again, and then just have him like just kind of bobble and not know where to go. Like
he gets one more shot. I think he gets one. We got to give Q one more shot here. I'm telling you, one catch. Let the ball hit the hands and catch it.
Hey, he did get that. He downed that punt.
There you go.
That is something.
On the punts.
I mean, you're talking about Goody's 2018 draft class, but how about some of the late round 2019 guys on the defense? Kamal Martin played well, coming back off an injury, and our safety out of TCU, Vernon Scott, played a pretty good end of the game when he had to come in, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about the 2019 draft class right now. I'm just saying the 2018 receivers.
We're still questioning that, but
no. I'm more questioning the 2018. That trio of receivers that we brought in to, replace every other receiver
break it around
on the roster. Huh?
Let's play around the league here. What's going on in the NFC?
All right, fourth quarter. Around the league. Joe, what do you got to say?
I mean, like I said, I don't want to overlook the Vikings, but I'm super pumped and excited about this Niners game on a Thursday.
Yep.
That's our revenge fucking game. And like, they've had big sustained injuries. They've had big wins and big blowouts. Like, we don't really know where they're at. They just played a really good game, didn't they?
Yeah, they smoked the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Patriots, who, I mean, I don't know. They're pretty mediocre, to be honest with you, this year. They can't fucking seem to score shit. But now the Niners play the Seahawks, who are coming off their first loss. Fuck them. Fuck Russell Wilson. But, I mean, I'm curious to see how that game plays this week and then into our short week in California, which we know we have had an issue with last year, and fuck the Niners from last year. I'm pumped to kind of monitor that in the next week and a half.
I'm curious if Bakhtiari and Z play this Sunday, coming off a short week the following week. Z got his, take him out 3-4 times in a game. Usually does that later in the season. Did that last year. I'm curious if we sit him and Bakhtiari out, knowing the following week's a short week. Same with maybe Aaron Jones.
I actually kind of hope that we hold Z out. I don't think that we need our best pass rusher against the Vikings offensive line.
I agree.
See, I think that's where having Rashawn Gary really helps, is he can come in and
I agree.
Like he might not be as good as Z yet, but he can fill that hole so it's not a glaring issue. But as we're going around the league, because I think that's what this quarter was supposed to be about, love seeing the Bears lose and the Seahawks lose. Packers reclaiming our rightful spot atop the NFC not just the NFC North, but the whole conference. It is now in our hands the rest of the season. I know we still have 10 games to go.
Let's
But-
hate. Let's hate. Let's hate.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
also gotta hate on the Bears
can we
real
talk
quick.
about
the next 2 games for the Bears are the Saints and the Titans,
Get them.
and then they got the Vikings, which should be easy for them. But they could easily end up at 6-4 when they come to play us.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, 8-8. They're gonna have an 8-8 season. They're only gonna win 3 more games. They are terrible. But you know what?
I would not be surprised at all if that happens.
I mean, that's my little G bold prediction of episode number 14 or whatever we're on. But I mean, I don't even want to like hate on their football team right now. I want to hate on their fans because all fucking week they're like they just the little screenshot of like the NFC North standing. It's like, oh, what's this? Like, oh, the North goes through Chicago apparently now. It's like, how many times do you see that fucking stupid little screenshot? It's like, dude, we have a better divisional record already than you guys do, and it's a bye. Like, just hold on to that for a few fucking little days that your little measly Bears fans are holding on to.
They got to take any win they can get. You know, they know that won't be the case at the end of the season, so they have to brag about it at the beginning.
And the difference is they put every effort into that exact moment when we know they lose to the Rams and we win and we're now tied for NFC, the first seed in the NFC, not just in the North. I don't even need to say anything. I don't need to boast. I don't need to share another screenshot of the standings because it's like, you know, like I'm not even going to pay attention to that hate.
Also, around the league, as we're talking about the rest of the NFC standings, we're obviously, as you mentioned, tied with the Seahawks, but technically ahead of them right now. Their next 4 games are a hell of a stretch. They have versus the Niners, at the Bills, then back to the West Coast at the Rams, and then versus the Cardinals.
Oof.
Like, those 4 weeks are brutal.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying before. As long as if we can max 2 to 3 losses, we should get the number 1 seed. Between the Saints and Bucks beating up on each other again, and what you just said with the Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks, it should kind of take. And then the NFC East is obviously a joke, but it should take care of itself right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I like what
I'm honestly not even really worried about the Seahawks. I mean, their defense is legitimately the worst in the league. Like in every statistical category except for rushing yards. Like they are so bad. Did any of you guys finish watching that Sunday against the Cardinals? Like Russell Wilson threw 3 picks. He threw a huge late interception pick because that team literally just revolves around Russell Wilson trying to carry it. Like their defense is a far cry from the boom that of only just a couple years ago.
I think the Cardinals are a little more scary. You know, we're not sure where they're at, if they're going to come to play or if they're going to totally dominate a game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was reading one thing that said that the NFC West could put all 4 teams in the playoffs this year with that expanded 3rd wild card spot. Like the Bears are basically the Bears and like the Saints are the teams to watch to prevent that. But I mean, it's definitely possible.
Dude, the Bears are not getting that spot.
I agree. So it comes down to the Saints.
Their offense is so bad. Like,
I mean, back to the Bears hate a little bit. I mean, we don't even need to wait for the weekend after Thanksgiving to like knock them off, quote unquote. They're going to lose the games that we know they're going to lose. Just let them be the Bears and we'll take care of business when we play them later this season. Like
that offense is rough to watch, man. Like that's just so
their
hard
offense is
to watch.
so bad.
Jesus. But they have this offensive guru, Matt Nagy, and that offense looks like a Mike McCarthy offense without Aaron Rodgers at the helm. So it's like you have a shitty quarterback, stands back and throws it, and you just can't do it. Like that's
so I cannot on Matt's point, I cannot let this around the league stop without discussing the Dallas Cowboys.
And who's the coach?
I don't know. Joe, who's the coach of the Cowboys?
Big boy Mike. Ask me in another week, it might not be. He's gonna be eating cheese curds on the sideline here pretty soon.
Dude, he looks huge. He looks pretty big. He had a lot of meals this offseason. Jesus.
Man, I think both you and I both messed up when we were making our, in season coaching fire predictions. I think it might be Mike McCarthy, man. Like that is a dumpster fire.
Yes, it is. And I love it.
They're already just giving up on the season, trading away players. Like, dude, Mike McCarthy's done. He's done in football. And if anything, he might be a coordinator.
For
All
what
right, now
position group? What would he call? Can't call offense. Is he going to start coaching defense or special teams? We never had any of those things. What position group's he calling?
he could be an OC for a team that doesn't let him call the plays.
Kansas City Chiefs, yeah.
Where the head coach wants to call the plays.
Our team, yeah.
Sure.
No, but he's going to ride Aaron's coattails of Aaron carrying the team for the last decade and a half. He's going to ride those coattails until he's ready to retire. Somebody will keep giving him a shot. There are enough
100%.
shitty teams.
I think the
They're going to
Cowboys
say, look at what he did with Aaron Rodgers.
I
Right.
think the Cowboys are dumb enough to be like, well, Dak is out. Let's just call this season a wash, and we'll try again with Big Mike and a recovery back next year. I don't know if they're dumb enough.
Speaking of that, I know we discussed some trade options around the league. And anything that's jumping out at you guys, I have one on the Cowboys that I think could be a good one.
Well, can we bring it back to the Packers first? We signed a guy to the practice squad from the Jets, like Burgess. Who's
don't come at me with this practice squad bullshit.
What do you mean he plays for the Packers?
Are you talking about?
I don't know anything about him.
Chance?
Huh?
Hank, are you talking about a potential trade for Michael Gallup?
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
You want to hear who I'm talking about?
Ooh.
yeah.
I'm talking about a potential trade for Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker for the Cowboys. After this season, he's only got one more year on his deal. His contract is $3 million, so it's nothing crazy compared to other linebackers. And the Cowboys just extended Jalen Smith. They're also probably, the injury throws it into question, but they're still expected to sign Dak, even if it's not for as much as he wants. So I wouldn't be surprised. You already said that they're trying to trade some guys. If they try to offload someone like him right now, and I think that he would be great. I know he's kind of been inside and outside linebacker, which I think is good, having that dynamic player in our defense. And in college, he was only an inside linebacker. So I think that he could be a really good fit with our defense.
I think that's a good point. That hybrid player. That was kind of where Clay Matthews shined in our defense, is when he was an inside/outside linebacker.
Yeah, obviously our guys stepped up this past week, but I don't know if they have shown enough to feel confident on like a Super Bowl run.
Yeah,
I'll go any Texans wide receiver outside of Randall Cobb purely based on contract. If Randall had
that
a
was
one
my other one
or something, purely based on contracts, I think he'd be a good fit back on the Packers. Name a Texans wide receiver, they should come. They have one win. If they don't trade him, I think they're stupid. If we don't trade for any wide receiver, I think we're stupid. So it seems like a good.
Will Fuller was my other name that I had written down. The Bleacher Report article I was reading about potential trade deals had us giving up a 3rd-round draft pick for him, and I would do that in a heartbeat.
100%.
I would take Brandon Cooks or Kenny Stills as well. I would take any of those guys, man.
Yeah, I feel like Fuller's been so consistent though, which is something our offense has missed.
Yeah.
So Kenny Stills is having a down year so far, and maybe it's just this shitty team, but Will Fuller, even with a shitty team, has still put up numbers. Yeah. He put up numbers as DeAndre Hopkins number 2. I think a 3rd-round draft pick for Will Fuller would be amazing.
if we can capitalize on the downfall of the Dallas Cowboys, and that, that makes me happy.
That's your
I
guy.
think-
Mike McCarthy has a road named after him, doesn't he? What are you liking that for? Nothing.
I think Michael Gallup makes a lot of sense. Or, I mean, Matt, to your point on the Texans, I think really any of the receivers on the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are kind of in that situation where they have so much depth at receiver that, I mean, they've already paid Amari Cooper, but everybody else they paid Amari Cooper and they just drafted CeeDee Lamb, but they still got other people. I think Michael Gallup would make a ton of sense.
Same.
Boys, finish your beers.
All right.
Good up. You guys got anything else for us?
I just
No,
wish
I'm
we had a
very
better
excited.
coach than Mike McCarthy. I wish we had a better coach than Mike McCarthy the past decade. That's it.
We would have had 5 Super Bowls.
I'm excited to beat up on another divisional rival this week.
Yeah, we'll break down McCarthy versus LaFleur in the offseason, boys. But yeah,
Right.
I mean, since I have the liberty of taking us home, AR is back to his MVP fashion. Loving it. The guy just owns the state of Texas. We got some new guys showing up on the defense that we love to see. And guys, we're tied for first in the NFC. We're watching everybody else. We're like, what's going on? Who's going to play who? Who's going to lose to who? We got to take care of business, though. We got, I wanted to say, too, the 1 o'clocks are just great. I mean, for my hangover.
1 o'clock games are the best.
I'm finally seeing the logic with you guys there.
If we have any listeners in Wisconsin, I know you guys aren't very good at time zones. That's noon.
Right. Yeah. The only downside is that there's less grilling time and less drinking time overall, but the 1 o'clocks are great. Anywho, guys, we got the Vikings coming to Lambeau. We got a short week going to San Francisco on Thursday. We'll try to sneak in a little midweek episode for you there, real quick ones. But until then, we got round 2 versus the Vikings in Lambeau the day after Halloween. So stay spooky. Stay sharp. Everyone knows the strength of the team is related to the cheddar. Go Pack Go, baby.
Go Pack Go.
Back out.